It's the Weekend Insider of Into the Squared Circle podcast. Yes, I'm your host, GBs, and welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe. If you're listening on the podcast, which is available at all major podcasting outlets like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. So wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, all you have to do is type in Into the Squared Circle podcast, which is also available on Facebook, X, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. So hit the subscribe. Join the conversation. Again, from a fan to the fans. Let's talk about all things All Elite Wrestling on this episode. Obviously, Full Gear is the highlight for this weekend. And next weekend, it's all things Survivor Series right here in Chicago. So, busy 2 weekends around holiday time in November. But let's talk about Full Gear. But before we get to Full Gear, let's talk about the ratings from this past Friday. The Friday Night Wars between WWE SmackDown versus AEW when it came to Collision and Rampage. And if you heard my previous episode, right, my prediction episode, I said I wouldn't be surprised if WWE destroys AEW. And they sure the hell they did. Triple H and the crew smoked AEW this past Friday on television ratings. So, from my understanding, SmackDown averaged 2 million viewers, while AEW Collision / Rampage, and you have the countdown to Full Gear after that, averaged 200,000 viewers. That's amazing. The go-home show of Collision and Rampage got 200,000, while SmackDown's running the mills with 2 million viewers. I mean, you talk about ass bent backwards. Man, it's wild. It's wild. The secondary biggest wrestling company, their second flagship, got smoked and run over by SmackDown. Amazing. But nonetheless, by the way, Ronda Rousey, someone made a debut in AEW on Friday. Apparently, she showed up on a Ring of Honor taping after Rampage, from my understanding. She came out with Marina Shafir. That's it. For a big star like Ronda Rousey, they debut her. Again, my understanding was a handshake deal. Again, you know the internet's always true. It's always right. Wrong, right? So, I don't know, man. If I was Tony Khan, I would push her to the moon on television, right? Make her a star, because she is a star. I don't know. It was just weird. Okay, so that's that. All right, so let's talk about AEW Full Gear, which was live on pay-per-view across the world. If you watch it like myself on television at home, or maybe you were in Los Angeles at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California. So I said in my predictions and preview that I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Khan adds matches or change stipulations, and that's what he did on Friday on Collision. He decided to add a couple of matches, so that will not count my record when it comes to previews and predictions, all right? So let's talk about the pay-per-view. So the show kicks off free for the first, 2 hours on YouTube. So we have Eddie Kingston versus Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor World Champion. And I thought it was a great wrestling match. Eddie Kingston looks great. It's a badass. Of course, you got Jay Lethal, which is phenomenal. You had Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt all around ringside, of course. Eddie Kingston, his, I guess, former friend, or at least somewhat of a difficult relationship with Ortiz. And, was it Ortiz or Santana? I think it was Mike Santana who came out and grabbed the guitar, took out, I believe, Sanjay Dutt with a guitar. But either way, that played a role by distracting Jay Lethal, which landed Eddie Kingston for the win. So Eddie Kingston defeated Jay Lethal to retain the Ring of Honor World Champion. All right, up next on the pre-show, Claudio Castagnoli versus Buddy Matthews. I thought it was a great match. 10 minutes and 30 seconds. You know what? Claudio looks phenomenal as always. Buddy Matthews, I'm a big fan of his. He looked phenomenal. Both guys beat the living hell out of each other. Again, no interference. Both guys had a clean match, and Claudio Castagnoli defeated Buddy Matthews. All right, the final pre-show match here, and it's MJF. Well, he made truce with Samoa Joe this past Friday, and they're going to decide to do a tag team match together. So, as I mentioned, Adam Cole injured. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that in a second. Adam Cole's injured, and MJF needs a tag team partner. And Samoa Joe's deal was, if I become your tag team partner for the Ring of Honor titles, MJF gives me a World Heavyweight Championship shot in the near future. So MJF, he been avoiding that, but he needed help. So he shook hands with Samoa Joe, and a handshake deal happened. So MJF came out in a California Lakers NBA basketball style jersey. Yes, Samoa Joe with the same colors as shorts. And then out comes the Guns, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn. And I thought it was a great match. 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Samoa Joe, my favorite part in this match, where he did a suicide tope dive over the ring ropes and landed on the Colton boys. That was impressive. But either way, Adam Cole showed up and surprised not only the fans, but he surprised MJF by hopping down the ramp with his crutches. He pretty much distracted not only MJF, but he also distracted the Gun Boys. And Samoa Joe managed to put a submission on one of the Guns and made him tap. So with the help of Samoa Joe making the Guns Boys tap, MJF retains the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, meaning Samoa Joe will get a title opportunity in the near future. So how about that? So after the match, Samoa Joe left, Adam Cole left. Almost left in the ring was MJF, who was celebrating. After all the celebrating was done, all the cheering and yada yada yada, Austin and Colton Gunn got in the ring and started blindsiding and attacking MJF. They brought a chair in. They were just beating the shit out of his leg with a chair. Oh, man, they were jumping him gang style in the ring. And that right there, and I'll tell you this right now, it's the Cody Rhodes effect. And the reason I'm saying it's the Cody Rhodes effect, because you know how Cody is. He'll come out in the beginning of the show. He'll get jumped. They'll target his leg or they'll target his arm. And, oh man, what they're going to do with the main event. Will he come out and wrestle? And then it's like an underdog story, right? The underdog story. He's going to fight back with one arm, one leg limping. And he's just going to scratch and claw and work his way to the top to get back to winning. And that's the Cody Rhodes formula. They're doing with MJF, because what happened was MJF got attacked. He got attacked by the Colton boys, the Guns boys. Attacked him, used a chair, and pretty much beat up his hamstring leg. The EMTs came out, put him on the stretcher. They took him to the back. They loaded him up into the ambulance. And here comes Adam Cole. And MJF is screaming right before they shut the ambulance door. Adam, make sure they don't take the title away from me. So they close the ambulance leave, the pre-show ends. I'm like, holy smokes. What a way to hook you to buy the pay-per-view. That was smart. That was really smart of AEW, the producers, how they lined that up to get you to watch the pay-per-view to see what's going to happen next. So very good on them doing that. So the pre-show ends and the pay-per-view starts. And here we go, pay-per-view time. The first match, Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland will face the Patriarchy, which is Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. So Christian Cage had the whole children choirs entrance. I saw a meme on social media, Father of the Year. They need him father. That was just beautiful. The children choirs singing Christian Cage entrance. I enjoyed the Sting, Adam Copeland, and Darby Allin entrance. They had a spotlight of the ramp. They had they had the bats lined up all together on the spotlight. Adam Copeland had, a lot of people are saying half of his face paint was a mixture of Sting and Darby Allin. To me, it gave me Ghost, the band, rock band Ghost. Papa Tobias, the singer, it gives me the Ghost. Because I remember seeing Adam Copeland wearing a Ghost t-shirt for an interview a couple weeks ago. So it has to be a Ghost-inspired theme. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I have a Ghost poster right behind me. But I can tell it's a Ghost-inspired makeup. So let's talk about the match. It was a great match. Sting, which is, again, an icon. Just letting him loose in the ring and just him being all fired up. Just absolutely phenomenal. There was a point where Christian had confronted Adam Copeland, and Christian Cage, as a chicken shit heel, ran off the ring and hopped over the guardrail and took off running in the crowd. Eventually, he came back. Long story short, as the match got close to the end here, folks, there was a scary part where Luchasaurus powerbomb. I shared it on my X. He powerbombed Darby Allin on the ring apron. Just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Christian Cage was teasing, again, just poking fun at Adam Copeland. He trying to do the Adam Copeland legendary spear moves. He does this with his fingers and arms, ready to do a spear, and Christian Cage is. Well, when the match got close to the end, Christian Cage decided to dip. That's right, Ric Flair. Ric Flair got involved where I guess Christian Cage was trying to confront Ric Flair. Ric Flair allegedly tried to take jabs, tried to do the Ric Flair punches and jabs in Christian Cage. As Ric Flair turned away, Christian Cage came up behind Ric Flair and low-blowed Ric Flair outside of the ring. But as the match got close to the end, Christian Cage hopped over the barricades and left his teammates in the ring, leaving a 3-on-2 to give the advantage and the win to Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland. And by the way, that was my pick. And man, it was great. They had they milked time. They milked time after that. Give Sting all the flowers. Darby Allin grabbed the mic and told the crowd this is the last time you'll see Sting wrestle in the state of California. A beautiful tribute. Just it was a 5-minute pause of fans clapping. Just a great moment with Sting. And what the crazy part is, Sting's son was sitting ringside. And you can know right off the bat, he looks like Sting. Steve Morton, his real name. And his son looks identical to Sting, which is, I'm like, that gotta be his son. Like, they never mention his name, but like, that guy, he looks like him. And they finally mentioned to him, and man, he was jacked. So he's been working out with his pops. You know that. So overall, that was a great match. All right, so let's talk about the next match here, folks. Orange Cassidy will put his International Championship on the line against Jon Moxley. So this match was interesting. It was pretty decent, of course. And, of course, Jon Moxley was the first one to bleed. Hey, you're not surprised. I said that. I said that in my predictions. don't be surprised if Jon Moxley starts bleeding, gushing everywhere. It just is what it is. I'm not going to rave on it too much here. It was a solid match. Again, Orange Cassidy, hit these jabs on Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley will get back up, and it's just like, I don't know. It is what it is, I don't know what else to say about this match. A 12-minute and 5-second match. That's all I'll tell you. Okay, who won? Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy managed to sneak away and defeat Jon Moxley, which was my prediction winner. So, 2 in a row. Not too bad to kick off my predictions. All right, let's move on next. A women's match for the AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm will face Hikaru Shida she came down as current champion. A little spoiler right there. So Hikaru Shida came out. She looks pretty good as always. Timeless Toni Storm. She was great. She was phenomenal. She looks badass in the ring. She looked powerful and dominant. Hikaru Shida did all her best to, fight back, of course. But, man, it shocked me. It shocked me because Toni Storm defeated Hikaru Shida. 10 minutes and 25-second match. Man, I was surprised. I'm still speechless. I can't even speak because I'm surprised that Toni Storm defeated Hikaru Shida. And they're gonna move forward with Toni Storm. I'm surprised they're moving forward. After that, I'm just thinking it through my mind. I'm like, man, Hikaru Shida lost the title 2 or 3 times this year alone. And after seeing it, just going through my mind, the emotions. I'm like, man, I feel bad for Hikaru Shida. She's phenomenal as a champion. She's a warrior. She's a badass. And then she drops the title. I forgot who she dropped it to. She dropped the title. And then she got it back. I think it was Saraya. I think Saraya had the title. And she got the title back. And now she dropped it to Timeless Toni Storm. So I don't know. I feel bad for Toni Storm that she has to go through this. I'd rather keep the title around her waist. Continue to build up Toni Storm and her new gimmick. Just continue to build it up. But I don't think that was the right time to do it. I don't know, just me as a fan, okay? I'm not an insider. I don't book wrestling matches. Maybe I don't know shit, but as a fan, I feel like my personal opinions, okay? Maybe yours, you may agree. Maybe you won't. But I just wish Hikaru Shida retained the title. But the power of B, they gave the title to Toni Storm. So congrats to her on winning the AEW World Champion. All right? So good deal. By the way, I first lost in my predictions. All right, let's move next here. So I talk about the Fatal 4-Way match between Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Los Faction Incurables, right? I'm looking here on the list. Rouge and Chalistico versus FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood versus the Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King. So it's supposed to be a traditional Fatal 4-Way tag team match. Well, this past Friday, they changed the stipulation into a Fatal 4-Way tag team ladder match, and they're going to put the titles hanging above the ring. So, you know what? I'll tell you this right off the bat. My thoughts on the match. It was a great tag team ladder match. They utilized this match correctly with the ladders. I felt it felt like a classic ladder match. Every team looked great. Every team. There's always someone climbing up the ladder. Someone pushes the ladder. There was one where, I'm trying to go back in my memory bank here. Was it Cash Wheeler or Dax climbed up the ladder, and there was somebody else on the opposite, which was Rouge. And they both climbed up, and they're like, yeah, screw that. We're not going to fight at the top of the ladder. Just get down the ladder and let's just fight like men. And that's what they did. That was impressive. They had some sick spots. Brody King did some kind of a package pile driver. I believe it was Jalistico. I could be wrong, on a ladder that was parallel, laying flat between the ring and the barricade. And then he just dropped him on his freaking head on the ladder. The ladder almost broke. What else? I mean, a couple tope, suicide dives over the ropes. There was a lot of sweet, dangerous spots. But this match was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And I told you FTR was at least one of the contenders, right? Between them and Black, the House of Black, Malachi Black and Brody King. By the way, they were impressive as well. But as the match got close to the end, I believe it was Cash Wheeler. No, it was Dax. Dax climbed up the ladder. He almost had his hand touching the belts. But Ricky Starks was on the other side, punched him. I believe Dax or Cash, one of them fell off the ladder. Ricky Starks grabbed the belt. And they retained the tag team titles. I told you there was some way in my gut they were going to weasel their way out. And guess what, folks? They retained the tag team titles. So another win in my predictions, as I predicted. I thought it was a great ladder match. My personal opinion. Again, there's going to be matches on here. And, actually, I think I said in my predictions there was going to be two matches that will probably steal the night. The ladder match and Swerve versus Hangman, which we'll get to shortly. Holy smokes. But this ladder match, I thought so far this was the best match on the card so far. All right, so up next we have Julia Hart versus Chris Statlander, the champion who came down to the ring, versus Sky Blue. So, Julia Hart came out, and she looks phenomenal with her hat and everything. Out comes Sky Blue. Here's the interesting part. Sky Blue got a new ring thing, entrance song. She has a new look. She got rid of the ball cap, threw it, and she has like a black crown. And she has, instead of the black dripping makeup, she had like a black bar across her eyes. New ring gear, so it's a whole new look of Sky Blue, new music. And then out comes Chris Statlander in her really nice gear as well. So all three women look phenomenal. 11-minute and 20-second match. Julia Hart looks phenomenal. I gotta say, she's been improving each and every week as I've been watching her as a fan. And maybe you're noticing as well. I see a lot of people comment saying that she looks phenomenal. She's improving her ring skills, which you need, right? Again, Chris Statlander, I'm a big fan of hers. She was phenomenal. And who else? Sky Blue. There's nothing to complain about her. A Chicago girl. Can't complain. All three women bust their asses off. They put on a great women's match. But I was surprised. It threw me off. But Julia Hart. And I can't remember who she pinned. She pinned Chris Statlander. I can't remember who she pinned. But all I remember is Julia Hart getting the pin and winning and becoming the new AEW TBS Women's Champion. And just their initial reaction, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Julia Hart won? And I know she has a lot of potential. And I just didn't expect her to get it at this very moment. But I saw somebody left a comment. They're going to pull a gun on Julia Hart, and they're going to press on forward with her. So, it's interesting. They're going to put the title around her waist. She's the new champion. I'd rather keep Chris Statlander as a champion. Again, I'm just a personal preference, which don't mean shit as a fan. And I wish they kept the title around Chris Statlander just a little bit longer. But they gave the title to Julia Hart. And wow. I was shocked. Just like the women's champion with Toni Storm, I was completely shocked. And that threw me off. And Holy smokes. Julia Hart's now your new AEW TBS champion. And, wow. So, man, I need a drink. I need a drink. You hear that? Cheers to you if you're watching on YouTube. Wow. Oh, man, I need that. After that Julia Hart win last night. Oh, man. So, another loss to my predictions. So be it. All right, let's talk about this match. And yeah, if you watch the pay-per-view, you know why I'm shaking your head. And you probably agree with me. This match was freaking brutal. It was extreme. It was gruesome. The gruesome twosome tour. I'm not talking about Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie. I'm talking about Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. Wow, a Texas death match of all matches. Yeah, man, what a match. This match, it was violent. This was ECW violent. This is GCW violent. This is CCW, Combat Sports Wrestling. It was pure violence. This is we will never see a WWE programming match. You see what I'm saying? If you haven't watched it and you're sensitive to gory guts, blood, and just obnoxious shit, this match is not for you. Okay? This is rated R. I'm telling you that right now. This match was... I was like this, watching the match, you know? Oh, you know, I had my hands over my face, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, man, I can't believe he did that. Okay, let's talk about it. So, Swerve Strickland came out. That was a great entrance from Swerve Strickland. Prince Nana came out. You know the Nana dance? You know his dance? If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Prince Nana dance. And there was a bunch of cheerleaders doing the dance, the Prince Nana dance. That was phenomenal. You know, that's my favorite entrance of the night. The Prince Nana dance with cheerleaders. Phenomenal. Swerve Strickland came out. Just a huge reaction, of course. He came out. Whose house? So Swerve Strickland gets down to the ring. And we're waiting for Adam Hangman Page. Oh, excuse me. Well, that little roar, a burp, indicates us Adam Hangman Page had no entrance. He just went out to the works. He just came out of nowhere and just started beating the living hell out of Swerve Strickland. So Hangman Adam Page had no entrance, pyro, no introduction. He just ran down to the ring and started whooping Swerve Strickland's ass. Hey, he wasn't wasting no more time. He got in the ring and started whooping his ass. Right off the bat, Hangman Adam Page started grabbing shit out under the ring. He threw out a roll of tape. He threw out a chair. He threw out a stapler gun. Imagine in your mind what you can do with a stapler gun. We will get to that shortly. And so Adam Hangman Page had a lead. He had a lead and he took charge of the match. He took control of this match. And what happened was Hangman Adam Page grabbed the tape, taped Swerve Strickland arms like this. So Swerve had no momentum. He couldn't use no hands. He was not able to touch, lay a finger on Adam Hangman Page. So Adam Hangman Page grabbed a stapler gun and started stapling all over the body of Swerve Strickland. And he's getting pissed off. He's stapling him on his chest, his pecs, on his chest, pecs, pop, 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 pop. And as the camera gets closer, you can see the staples just buried deep inside of his flesh and skin. Well, that wasn't enough. It didn't stop there. Adam Hangman Page get a stapling gun, start stapling his head, and that right there cut open Swerve Strickland's forehead, and it was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. I haven't seen so much blood from a guy's face. I mean, this was Stone Cold and a sharpshooter from Bret Hart, blood on his face at WrestleMania in Chicago. That kind of bleed, all the blood over his face, dripping everywhere. That was gory blood. I mean, he was busted open. So, man, oh man, it was getting gnarly already. It was getting gnarly and disgusting. There was a spot where Adam Hangman Page had a paper of a drawing from his kids. He put it on a cheek from Swerve Strickland, and he stapled the paper to his cheek. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? He stapled Adam Hangman Page's son's drawing on Swerve Strickland's cheek. That was graphic enough. Sure enough, Adam Hangman Page just got lost control. There was a spot. There was a nasty spot. All the blood from Swerve Strickland's face. He had his head down like this. Adam Hangman Page went under it, opened up his mouth, and he was drinking the blood that was dripping from Swerve Strickland's face. Talk about hepatitis C right there. Holy smokes. That was disgusting. That was disgusting that he is just letting the blood splatter on his face and just tasting it in his mouth. Talk about nasty. So this match was getting just absolutely gruesome already. Long story short, Adam Hangman Page, I'm not sure Prince Nana came down and wiped him out. Or I know Brian Cage got involved. But Adam Hangman Page was knocked out. Prince Nana got in the ring. He grabbed the knife, cut the tape off of Swerve Strickland. So now Swerve Strickland is free. Swerve Strickland picks up the staple gun, and you thought he's going to staple Hangman Adam Page. No, Swerve is a madman. He is a psycho. Decided to staple his chest, his own chest, with a stapler gun to show the crowd that he is fucking insane. He's a nutcase. So Swerve Strickland decided to hop out of the ring, look under the ring, and he pulls out a cinder block. So shit just couldn't get any more worse in his match. Like gruesome worse. So Swerve put a cinder block right on the apron. He grabs Hangman Adam Page. Both guys are fighting along the apron. And Swerve drops some kind of a package drop with Adam Hangman Page neck hitting on the cinder block on the apron and just knocks him out. Just gruesome. Eventually, Swerve picks up Adam Hangman Page. They climbed, and they were both balancing on the fan guardrail. And there's just blood everywhere on the guardrail. And security's trying to keep the fans away from getting hurt. And Swerve just dropped. He dropped Hangman Adam Page right on the bar of the guardrail. Brutal. And eventually, Adam Hangman Page got unconscious, started walking, and Swerve grabs another cinder block and throws it in the back of the head of Hangman Adam Page. So Adam Page gets whacked by a concrete block from Swerve Strickland right here in the back. I'm like, holy shit, he's going to kill this guy. And that cinder block broke. It broke. It shattered as he hit him in the back of the head. I'm like, God, he's going to murder this guy on live national television. And now I'm like, this is it. I mean, in real life, if you got hit by a concrete block, you'd be dead. And I'm like, this is it. Come on, Swerve, just pin him and get this match over with. I'm done with it already. No, it just keeps on going. Swerve gets a chain link. A chain they use for like pulling trucks out of a ditch. He wraps it around Adam Hangman Page's neck. He wraps it around the ring post and he pulls it like it's like an execution style. And Adam Hangman Page is just like this, with a neck chain around his neck. I'm like, oh my God. And he drops the chain. The ref counts to 10. And Swerve Strickland wins the match. Carnage everywhere. Blood everywhere. It was pure destruction. It was gruesome. It was hard to watch. I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm okay with extreme shit, but when it comes to gruesome like this, it was hard to watch. I had to turn my head away from the television a couple times. Oh my God, I'm surprised these guys took it to the extreme. Because the next match was the Golden Jets for the Young Bucks. I'm like, fuck, man, how they're going to come from this? And they didn't. They did it because this match was just, it was gruesome. So I picked Adam Hangman Page, and Swerve, he won it, man. He won it fair and square. Both guys pretty much ripped each other's flesh off their bodies. Holy smokes. So, there you go, folks. Again, if you're very sensitive to this kind of style of match, I do not recommend it. If you're a fan of it, well, it's at your own discretion. All right, so I'm going to take a quick break and get this off of my mind, and we'll come back and finish the last two of AEW's Full Gear. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, folks, and we got 2 matches left for AEW Full Gear. All right, let's talk about the next one. The Golden Jets, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, will face the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. And I'm sorry about this here. I'm trying to look at my predictions here. So I predicted the Golden Jets to win. Let's talk about the match. You know, it was a solid match. The Young Bucks, you know, they did shit they didn't want to do to Kenny Omega, who's allegedly trying to get him back with the Elite. Try to reform the friendship here. And, you know, it is what it is. Jericho, Kenny Omega, again, just great chemistry, of course, in the ring. The Young Bucks were just the typical Young Bucks. There was a spot in the match where Chris Jericho was in the opposite of the ring, hanging on the ropes. And I can't remember, it was Nick or Matt Jackson who was hanging on the outside of the ring over the ropes. And Kenny Omega was in the ring. And he was ready to do the V-trigger. And, he was ready to do this. And he wasn't sure if he was going to pull the gun on the Bucks or Jericho. And he pulls it on Jericho. And fans are like, oh, he's going to double cross his partner. Well, as he ran towards Jericho, instead of hitting him with the knee, he ended up hitting the ropes. And swerved the fans by taking out the Bucks. And long story short, the Golden Jets defeated the Bucks. And there we go, folks. So the Golden Jets took their tag team title opportunity away from the Bucks. The Young Bucks were pissed off. They were throwing a temper tantrum after the match. They're ripping all the padding off the guardrails. One of the Bucks was hitting the post with a chair. I'm not sure what the ring post did to him, but they decided to beat the chair on the ring post, ripping up the commentary table, and throwing a hissy fit because they lost the match. What's next for the Young Bucks? Who knows? All right, let's get to the main event here, folks. So, as I mentioned, MJF got injured. He got blindsided and attacked during the pre-show. He hopped on the ambulance and he yelled, "Adam Cole saved my title." Now, they were ready to hand off the title to Jay White by default, by surrendering the title. Adam Cole came out. He's like, no. MJF never won the title. But yet better, I'm going to face you, Jay White, in the main event. So I'm going to replace MJF. I'm going to save my best friend's title. Even if I have to fight with one foot. So here he has Adam Cole on stage, hopping on one foot. The other one's in a cast, both in crutches, and he's going to have his match. And again, I'm drawing a blank here. Switchblade Jay White. There we go. So here we go, folks. Adam Cole comes out, hopping down the ramp with a broken foot and crunches. Try to do his boom, his legendary signature thing he does before the match. And except he's doing it on crutches. And out comes Switchblade Jay White. And everybody knows that Adam Cole's going to get smoked. They're going to lose the title. And before the match started, there was a camera backstage, and you hear sirens. Sirens. And from the distance, you see an ambulance hauling ass into the arena. And as the ambulance got closer and the camera panned in, MJF was driving the ambulance. Now, you're watching me on YouTube, seeing me shaking my head. Now, if some of the viewers, some of the listeners, when you've been loaded up in an ambulance and you want to come home, right? Do you say, fuck it, I'm going to get in the ambulance and just drive home in the ambulance? Hell with the surgery. Hell with that. I want to go home. I just want to go home. Just get in the ambulance and drive. Is that a felony? Is that a government property? I don't know what's the laws. Depends on what state. But it's a law to steal an ambulance and drive it somewhere, right? At least in this area, we get it every once in a while. If someone wants to go on a joyride. Grand Theft Auto out here. But, again, do you just hop in the ambulance and say, screw it? Screw it. I mean, no, you go to the doctor, you get discharged, right? The doctor said you're all good, or, your surgery's done, got your rest, you're discharged, here's your paperwork, bye-bye. You just don't hop in on the ambulance and drive it back to the arena. That's why I'm shaking my head. Maybe I'm taking this too serious. I don't know. So, MJF showed up in the ambulance. He came limping out to the ring with a calf all wrapped up. And we got two guys in the ring who are, had a half a leg. One leg's working, the other one's broken. And they're going to face a fully recovered, well-tuned oiled machine, Switchblade Jay White. Looks like a badass. So, Adam Cole hop out of the ring, and now the match is back on between MJF versus Switchblade Jay White. So it's go time. This was the longest match on the whole damn show. 29 minutes and 45 seconds. I thought it was a great match. I'll tell you that right now, it was a great match. Both guys beat the living hell out of each other. Jay White is a star. I'm telling you that right now. He's a badass, he's a star, and he looked great. MJF, what else I could say? I say nothing but good stuff about him. Despite if he's a scumbag or not. He's phenomenal. He's a very talented, gifted young feller. And he's a bright future and a Hall of Fame ring waiting for him in the next 20, 30, 40 years. But MJF, phenomenal in this match. There was a spot where MJF threw Switchblade on the announcer table desk, and the announcer table desk just broke. Well, the whole night, people's been trashing that table. We finally get a body on it, on the damn table. Nobody goes through it. The table just falls apart. That tells you right there. And I guess the spot was supposed to be MJF climbing on the post of the ring, jumping off with an elbow through the table, but the table broke, so he just still jumped off the ring post and landed on the floor with Switchblade Jay White, which was incredible. Another incredible spot where MJF did a out of nowhere cutter on Switchblade Jay White out of the ring. So Switchblade was standing on the apron outside of the ropes. MJF just runs across the ring, jumps over the ropes, does a cutter, and lands outside of the ring, which is freaking phenomenal. Oh, man. So this match was phenomenal. Both guys back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There was a spot where MJF had a towel, and as MJF, again, remember, the Cody Rhodes formula, as I talked about, Switchblade was targeting that leg, right? That's the weakest point. That's where you need to target. The broken arm, the broken leg, whatever's broken, that's where you target. Weaken your opponent. And that's what Switchblade did. He did a figure four lock on that leg to put pressure. And as MJF was ready to tap, Adam Cole had a towel and he was ready. He wants to throw that towel so bad to save his best friend. But MJF was yelling at him, don't fucking do it. And there was a Doc Sampson, the ring doctor, came down and he checked on MJF, and MJF flicks off at the doctor. Fuck you. I don't need anything from you, doctor. Go away. So MJF is telling everybody just to knock it off. I'm going to beat the living hell out of Switchblade and retain the title. That's what happened. That's what happened. MJF defeated Jay White by pinfall. 1, 2, 3. What a match. And that was it. That's how the show ended. MJF got his title back, celebrating. And he defeated Jay White. Him and his bro Chacho, Adam Cole. There was no devil mask, which a lot of people were curious. How come the devil guy never came out? Or some kind of cameo to keep the story going. I guess we won't see him till Wednesday. I don't know. But long story short, it was a great, great main event match. So, I put a poll on Twitter. It's available right now on Twitter. I'm going to look it on right now on Twitter to see what's the standings is, right? We're going to check the standings here. And as I'm here looking on Twitter, again, if you're watching on YouTube, drop it in the comments section as always. So as I'm on a Twitter looking here, I put, did you enjoy AEW Full Gear? And it's not on my Twitter page, so don't worry about it. So, you know what? It was a mixed reaction for Full Gear, which I was surprised. I said, was the pay-per-view good? Was the pay-per-view bad? Or it was eh? And there was a large percentage of you guys said it was eh. It was like 40-50% was okay. Those 29% was good and 29% was bad. So, you guys made your voices heard. There we go. That's it. So, if you watch Full Gear, I hope you enjoyed it. And if not, then I guess we'll press on forward to Survivor Series, which is next weekend. All right, folks, that's it. And actually, I'm going to get an episode in, which will probably be my previews and predictions for Survivor Series. And then that'll be the last one before Thanksgiving. So if I don't talk to you before then, a happy, great Thanksgiving. Happy holidays as always as we're on the road to Christmas. And hopefully I'll talk to you guys for the Thanksgiving episode of Into the Squared Circle podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on my social media platforms, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And as I mentioned on YouTube, Into the Squared Circle podcast. And subscribe on the podcast feed like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and more. All right, it's been a long episode. I hope you had a great weekend. And let's kick off this great holiday week. All right, folks, until next time, happy wrestling and bye-bye.